Today I'm going to do a 1,000 mile review of my new bike, the 2019 Harley Davidson Heritage Classic. So I'm out for a ride with a buddy of mine in the canyon, and I just thought I'd take a second and show you what I'm looking at. Okay, I'm putting my helmet back on, and so here we go. This is what you call spring and early summer runoff. The water is cranking through the canyon right now, and it's a beautiful day to be out here. Take a look, take a look. We'll head on back to the bike. So I've had the bike now for 1,000 miles. I've had it for about 3.5 weeks, and I just had the 1,000 mile service performed 2 days ago, and I'm going to tell you what I think. Bike, here it is. It is in the Wicked Red 114. We'll take a quick walk around the bike. Comes with the hard saddlebags. It comes with the windshield and cruise control. Now you might notice the front wheel looks a little different, and what I did was I went ahead and had my mechanic just take that off. I mean, I don't think it looked terrible on, but I kind of like it a little bit better off. So I'm taking a full 360-degree walk around the bike. There it is. I now have about 1,200 miles on this bike, and I think I'm just falling in love with it more and more with each ride, with each mile. So I'm going to go ahead and lace up my helmet. We're going to ride out in the canyon, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the things I've found about this bike. So now I'm finding that I'm in between gloves, so I'm busting these out. These are a nod to High Viz Smiley, whose videos I used to watch a lot of when I first started with YouTube, and for some reason I haven't seen that guy around. Take another look at all that water cranking through the canyon. So, in the time that I've owned this bike, the 3 weeks that I've owned it, I've just realized, man, I like these cruisers. I love the comfort factor of riding a cruiser, particularly a Harley Davidson cruiser. There is just something special about a Harley Davidson, and I didn't understand it until I bought one. If you've been following my channel, you know I've been a Yamaha and a Honda guy for many years, and I've always been interested in Harley Davidson, but I just for a variety of reasons never owned one. So that all changed on May 25th when I drove up to High Desert Harley Davidson and bought this thing. So what I found is, I mean, the comfort of this bike is ridiculous. The windshield blocks so much of the wind coming at you. You're really pretty well protected when you're sitting behind the windshield, and I really like that. After coming from the naked bike world, where I've been riding for the last couple of years, I really love having keeping this wind off of me. It's just very nice. So also the seat and the ergonomics. I don't know how else to put this exactly, but the ergonomics of this bike are just fantastic. I'm like, I don't know, 5'8 3/4, and the forward controls, the comfy seat, the way the handlebars are set up with these 10-inch kind of like mock apes, it's just super comfortable. and I love that. As far as the 114 goes, I don't know too much about it other than it is a lot of cc's. It's like, I believe it's 868 cc's, and that's a big darn motor. In the liter world, I think that's almost a 2.0 liter, and I mean, yeah, that's as big an engine as they put in cars, in some cars. So heck, my Toyota Tacoma is a 4.0, so it's only twice the size, the motor, and that's a big, heavy 6,000 pound truck. So anyway, so at the 1,000 mile service, I went ahead and had my mechanic, well, I didn't have him do anything, he did it. He's a AMSOIL distributor, and so he switched me over to the synthetic. And you know, people swear by synthetic oil, and they say you can tell a difference, and I don't know how much of that is in your head or is an actual difference, but I'm convinced that the thing shifts smoother, and it just feels like it runs a little bit smoother. I don't know if I want to say better, because I thought it ran pretty great from the beginning, but it just feels a bit smoother. So, oh, look at this, we got a nice waterfall up here. I showed this in an earlier video. I'm gonna open my visor here for a minute. Get a look at that. Oh yeah. And that's what's happened. That's what happens when all this snow melts. So I don't really have a checklist here of things I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to kind of ramble to you for a little bit about this bike. This bike was 21. I want to say it was about $21,000 in the two-tone paint, and I added a couple of accessories. Well, I added the stage 1 mod, but I came out of pocket for that, so I didn't finance that. I didn't put that in the deal, and because I'd never bought, I don't know about you folks, but I'd never spent over about $8,000 on a motorcycle. So this was a big jump for me to jump up to a 20,000 plus motorcycle. Here, this is another thing I really like about this. Watch this. For those of you out there who say, oh, Harleys are just slow and heavy, are they? Really? They're heavy, that's for sure. This thing's about 728 pounds, but it ain't slow. It's quick. It is definitely quick. It's not as quick as some of the other bikes I've owned over the years, but how quick do you need? It'll go 0 to 60 in about 4.3 seconds, which is about 1 second slower than my last bike, which was a 2015 Yamaha FJ09. 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Is that really that big of a difference? I don't think so. So, yeah. So the thing is comfortable. It's beautiful to look at. I've gotten so many compliments on this bike since I bought it, from guys who ride Harleys, from folks who don't ride Harleys. Everybody's like, God, what a beautiful bike. And I absolutely agree. I was watching a video last night, and they were calling it, what were they calling this bike? It's like the young Elvis, you know? It's like, it's hip, it's cool, and it's a little flashy. Not too much, but a little bit. It's still, I think, by most accounts, a pretty conservative bike, the way that it's set up with the styling, with the Heritage styling. But I think the Heritage Classic is finally hip, and I think these bikes are appealing to younger riders who are interested. You know, not everybody wants a Sportster or a Sport Glide or a Fat Boy or, you know, Slim Bob. These new redesigned Softails are just fantastic. And again, all I can really do is compare it to my old bike, which was a Yamaha, and I've never owned a Harley Davidson before, so I don't know the Harley line all that well, so I can't really say, well, you know, it's different in this way or that way. I don't know. This is my first Harley, and what a bike to buy for your first Harley. I think it's been an excellent choice. You hear that rumble? That's that stage 1 that I had done, the Vance & Hines slip-ons with the Screaming Eagle tuner, and then it already had a high flow air filter on it, so I was good to go. So I have no idea what this bike really was like to ride stock, because, oh, that's not true. I test drove a couple of them actually before I bought this one, so yeah, I do know. And they were just, you know, they were quiet, still very cool, but this one's just a little bit more awake now with the pipes and with the tuner, the tuning adjustment. So and what I'm finding is I like it just like this. I like riding it with the windshield on. I like the saddlebags. I mean, they're full of stuff right now, just different things that I like to have with me when I'm on a ride. So I don't know that I'll ever take those saddlebags off, but I could, and that's an option. So that's good to know. I apologize for the wind if it's getting in my helmet. It's a pretty windy day out today, and even out here in the canyon. But yeah, man, I'm just really thrilled with this bike, and what a wonderful purchase. So if anybody's out there considering one of these, I'd suggest a couple things. I'd suggest you go to your local Harley Davidson dealership and test ride one and see what you think. Are you somebody that wants or feels they need that feels they want or needs saddlebags? This bike comes with them standard. Are you a person who thinks they need or wants a windshield? Standard option, or standard, I guess you don't call it a standard option. It is standard on this bike. Are you a person who's interested in having cruise control for those times when you want to give your wrist in your hand a break? This comes standard. So I just think you get a whole lot of bike for $21,000. Yeah, the two-tone paint was an upgrade, and there was an extra charge for that. But I've owned enough black motorcycles in my life. It was time to mix it up a little bit. And red's in my top 3 favorite colors, so why not? So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could tell you, other than I think you really need to, if you're thinking about it, go check it out. You know, go see what you think. There's a lot of folks that are riding these, that are buying these. A lot of folks that I've been watching on YouTube really love these bikes. I know JT Hickman, he's one of the guys I subscribe to. If you haven't checked out his channel, you should. I believe NC Stoney rides one of these. If you haven't checked out his channel, you should. Burnt Up, I'm trying to think of what this guy's channel name is, like Burnt Up, Burn It Up, something like that. I believe he rides one of these. If you haven't checked out his channel, you should. And then finally, a guy that's very popular on YouTube is a mechanic down in Tennessee named John Maxwell, and he has one of these. Now his is a little bit more modded out than mine, or most of the ones I've seen, with the big apes, and then he put some pretty wicked exhaust on it. I was watching some of his videos last night, and he also put a sound bar, a Karakin sound bar on his, which is something that I kind of think I might want to do down the road. But anyway, those are all guys that are riding these bikes and are pretty happy with them, so you might want to check out their videos. As far as future mods for this, I'm not really thinking too much, you know. I'm more thinking about some gear that I need to buy. I need to get a rain suit to have in my saddlebag. I've already been caught in the rain twice since I've owned this bike, and it was unpredictable, or it was unexpected. So I want to have a raincoat. Those are about $100. I'd like to upgrade and get some new gloves. Not that I don't love these, but yeah, I'd like to get some different gloves, summer specific type gloves. And yeah, without getting too technical, man, I can't tell you too much more about this bike other than I am thrilled with it. I've been riding motorcycles for over 40 years. I'm a 49-year-old male, and I started riding when I was 7 years old, and I've had just about every style of bike, and if I haven't owned it, I've ridden it. You know, I've never owned a crotch rocket, but I have ridden them, and that's just a whole different animal. That's something I don't have any desire to own, but you know, I get it. I understand why people do. If you have that need for speed and you want to go 150 plus, that's probably the bike for you. If you're content at max speed of about 120, then this wouldn't be a bad choice. And I'll tell you what, it gets there pretty darn quickly. So anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I hope you leave any comments or questions in the section down below. And until next time, everybody, ride safe and be careful. JP 1970 out.